Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dice Cult for episode 25 of On the Backs of Gods. This is usually the age of 25, where usually you have, like a crisis because it's, your first mile mark to 100. So that just inspires us to keep pushing on as we slowly age every week. I am Jillian, your DM. These are our players, same as always. We have Frank, Kyle, Mac, Josh, and Christo. Abby will be joining us shortly. I promise she will be here soon. I think that I will just give us a quick rundown of what happened last time, and then I think we can jump right into the adventure. Last time, all of you were still in Aarontoft. I believe the adventure started after you had found Dagwood's bleeding body on the ground, Ave illuminated in light, Gorbjorn hiding in a bush, the usual. You all save Dagwood.
Yep. Yeah, it sounds familiar.
Thank you, Terminator.
You finish the ritual, mostly Roshan, who is brought in and the assist for Dagwood and an unknown third party. You all help somewhat cleaning up Dagwood's home. Roshan, you stay the night, and the rest of you return back to the Undertow for hopefully a not sleepless night from the events that you just witnessed. The next day, you acquire your horse and cart, which you got from Alec, the son of the chief. You also received a note that said to come to see Alec before you left. On your way out, you decided you'd swing by Alec first instead of having Ave in your cart for longer than necessary in town. You guys swing by, and on the way, you see an older man in his night clothes swinging a longsword. You guys realize that this is the chief, and after he swings on Nana, who tries to calm him down, I believe Saga is able to distract him with illusion magic, giving you all enough time to get him into the cart and back to Alec, who thanks you for what you have done, gives you a shield for the funeral pyre for Ave, and also gives you information about the possibility that this golden-chinned individual could be possibly related to the idea of Valkyries. But he says he does not know for sure. He doesn't know if it's just a story he had heard, mythologies as a child. He doesn't know. But you are given that information. You say goodbyes to Alec. You say goodbyes to Dagwood. From her, you receive Ave's corpse, and you also receive the Ring of Odin, which is now inside of a disc. Nana examined this disc, sees that there's metal kind of holding it together. Yay, Abby! Yay! And Nana, after rolling a nat 20 on trying to figure out what this metal is, you do not recognize it. You have no idea what this metal is. You all load up your cart, and you begin your way out of Aarontoft. And we're going to jump right into some downtime. You guys are about to have 6 to 7 days of travel to get to Hoygercliff.
Hoygercliff.
Sorry. Hey, listen, guys, I put a lot of effort into naming these places.
And I love it.
Thanks, man. I appreciate the support. You guys on your way to Hoygercliff. Is there anything that you think stands out that you would like to work on during this time? Nana, go ahead and go first, just because I saw your hand raised like a good student. I think you're muted also. Bad student, taking the grade off.
Who's next, right?
Next, moving along. Time over. Combat
here. I'm
initiated.
here. Oh no! Oh dear. Okay. Well, what Nana wants to do, or at least some rudimentary, like, negotiation skills with Ben, bring him up to speed with ways to kind of move with a little less friction through civilized spaces, just for his own safety. I'm
going to stop you just real quick. I think that's a good idea. Okay, I'm going to move on to the next person.
Yeah.
Hopefully Nana's internet decides to become one with our internets. And I'm going to move along. First person to raise their hand besides Nana, go.
Saga beat me. Or, yeah, I won't say her real name on stream.
Yeah, nobody can know. I say it once and that's all.
Yeah. All right.
Say it at the beginning of the
Yeah, I'm an idiot. Leave me alone.
Saga, you can go ahead. Nana, I said your thing's cool, but we're going to get to it in a minute and see if your internet is feeling better after it chills for a moment.
That would be nice.
It sounds so lovely now. Go ahead, Saga.
Yes. Well, all Saga is going to do is work on her outfit for, like, the entire time, because you got to get that done.
Just on the back of a horse and buggy, just sewing. Something that looks like first a fragmented pieces of cloth that don't exactly seem to go together eventually turn into what I only can say is a masterpiece. And if you're interested in seeing these pictures,
yes. If anyone would like to see what her new outfit looks like, it's posted on the Backs of Gods thing, probably, and
Instagram.
so on my own stuff.
Yeah.
So, yes, it's a cute little blue dress that has the fabric that I bought in Aaron Toft, the wave fabric and the scaled fabric, and then some jellyfish elements.
We have a good theme. It's very nice. For me as the DM who was just naming fabrics willy-nilly, I'm glad it all looks nice together. Just a peek behind the curtain. I'm like, yeah, there'd be waves. That sounds cute. Is there anything else? I would say that 7 days is certainly enough time because you had also started this in Arentoft. I'm going to say you certainly can do this because I feel like this is something you're good at. You're good at making outfits for yourself because that's one of your hobbies. It's something you enjoy doing and it's not like work because you get something nice at the end. So certainly you can have your beautiful jellyfish outfit at the end.
Yay. Then if I have any extra time, I'll try to get some work done on Fenn's armor when he's not wearing it. When he's okay not wearing it.
We're just traveling now. I'm sure he's fine.
Yeah. I also would like to know, just a question that totally will not lead to anything horrible. I'd love to know who's driving. Who do we think's driving the most?
I've been riding.
What kind of check is it? Like, it's
I would like somebody who has. Does anybody have land vehicle proficiency? That's my first question.
I've had a couple characters in my life who have had that. This
Everybody
is not one of them.
tenses.
Is it a strength check? I can do those.
It may end up being either dexterity or animal handling is where I will lean. If nobody has proficiency.
I've got animal handling at least.
I think I get it from Outlander, but
You don't see it on your
Outlander doesn't get animal handling.
Well, I did not take proficiency in it, but
okay. From what I have said, who would like to be our main driver?
Saga, what is your animal handling here?
4.
Better than 0.
Tordik, did I hear that you had animal handling proficiency?
Yeah, he's got a +3.
+3? Okay, can anybody beat out a 4? I've also got a 4, so I guess it's maybe between Saga and Nana, unless
And
anybody
I will
else
say
can.
Saga has been using this time to sew. So
That
So,
is true as well.
Glorious leader, take us down this road.
Woo!
Nana, take the wheel. It's a rain, but whatever. That's fair, because she's mostly just going to be talking.
And can ride longbow.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Oh. Are we sure crossbow wouldn't be more appropriate?
Well, he doesn't use one, so.
No. I
Fair.
could borrow Roshan's.
So I'm going to assume there are times where other people are driving, but currently Nana is our most of the time spearhead of driving this 2-horse cart, which I'm just going to assume you've never used a 2-horse cart because you've never had
Presumably.
to.
Yeah.
None of you have
Yeah,
probably
that was
ever
bad.
had to use a 2-horse cart. Maybe you've ridden a
Probably not.
horse, but that's about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm going to have you either roll dexterity, not saving throw, or animal handling, Nana, and I'm going to see if this is going to add time to your travel, if you just have to go slower.
Okay. I'm going to take animal handling. It's a little bit better for me.
Just gently talking to the horses, like, please.
Well, I
Gotta
got
whip it in
an
the right
11.
spot.
I don't know if that'll... An 11. Not a failure.
Okay. Let's see. I'm going to go with a solid... Yeah, we're going to go with a solid 6 days. It's going to take you 6 days to get to the next town over, which...
No rad stunts. We're just taking the road.
You are going as comfortable as you feel you can go. You know the horses could go faster in like bursts, but you're not going.
Sure. No. I mean,
Them
we've
Duke
got a whole
boys.
cart here.
Bjorn.
Whatever that sound is,
I don't know what it was.
it stopped. That's all that matters. Okay.
Odds must be crazy.
Apparently, Gorbjorn went a little southern there.
The introduction. He has his own theme music now.
So probably when we were like going to rest and trying to sleep, I would be tossing in my bed, kind of like fearful of seeing Dagwood's house exploding with magic and everything like that. And the only way I really know how to confront my fears is drinking from a giant magical golden bowl. So while everybody's asleep and I know nobody's watching me, I would probably get a good swig full and probably like scare myself to sleep.
I only could go to sleep if I'm terrified.
Which is the diametric opposition of Roshan. We got these two ding-dongs addicted to two completely opposites.
I'm not
Because
addicted.
I'm
It's
not
just
flipping my
coping.
shit.
Coping. Okay, sure. Yeah. That's how it started with Roshan. Gorbjorn!
Roshan's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
You want some magical bowl?
Just holding a large bolt, like it's his whole arm span to be like,
God. And he's a big guy.
So I'd probably put like a whole beer in there, kind of thing.
You're like, I'm out of
Running
beer,
down my
beer.
top.
Beer!
That's me
I
in
hate
real
beer,
life.
beer, and we need it to stop. This is a bad company, and I don't like it. Gorbjorn, you partake in fear beer, and the dreams are, I'm not going to say they are scary every time, but they are unsettling. It is being stalked by something. Even in places where you are comfortable, even dreams of being back home, there is a fear of being stalked and pursued, and by strengths that are not large animals in the woods, things you don't understand and have never understood. And the concept of horrible magics that you've seen in the past few weeks and horrible creatures molded by it. All of these things were because in your head, to an extent, from magic. Ghosts, terrible magic. Dagwood almost died. Terrible magic. Ave died. Terrible magic. All of these deaths and terrible things around you were caused by magic. And in these dreams, you see a pattern of magic following you. Anything else?
Fuck magic.
Hashtag fuck magic. Just wakes up. All
Wowie.
right, guys, fuck magic. Am I right?
Like the next time Nana uses like Hunter's mark, he's just gonna start cussing her out, right?
He's like, hey, could you quit it?
Well, I don't understand it because I can't see it, right? There's
Yeah,
no-
at least Hunter's mark. But like, there's Saga who's just like, look at my illusory jellyfish, and you're like, see, that's the devil's work, and I'm not gonna feel about that.
Torbjorn is a good Gull'Lundr fearing boy.
He's like, who?
I all I know is I stabbed the statue. That's about it.
He's like, yeah, I know that that's the lady statue in town, and I stab it because, you know, I'm at a wedding, and I'm here to stab things.
She's magic. I stab magic. That's about right.
It seemed right.
You know. All the great weddings require such things.
Anything else? Because I think Nana and Fenn's thing is going to take just a bit of time. If there's anybody else who wanted to do anything prior to us trying to teach Fenn how to be a person in a town.
It'll be an interesting attempt, but we're gonna try.
So on the 6 days that it takes from place to place, Roshan is going to write some music. And in doing so, perfect a couple spells that he's been working on. And one of them is including just a little nightly ritual of performing a little ditty that also works as a counter charm. So just in case anyone's got any ghosts traveling along, Jillian.
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
Trying to summon or talk to animals. Leave me alone.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. Ghosts? Prove it. Point to one ghost.
Well, there's
You can't.
presumably.
You can't.
Well, whatever happened to Loria Longwalks?
Nobody
no
can wear
idea.
the ring anymore.
You have no idea where Loria is.
Oh no, Loria's gone.
Oh,
No, Loria's gone into the void.
I fulfilled my promise. I showed her the beach. I feel pretty okay with it.
Everyone's like, that was the scariest thing I ever did, but I showed her the beach. I did.
Fuck ghosts. She was a nice
Oh,
ghost
no.
though. I liked her, but fuck ghosts.
I hate ghosts. That ghost's okay, but I did my thing. Debt fulfilled. Yeah, you guys don't know what happened to Loria Longwalks. And nobody told her what was going on. Anywho,
Oh
Like
no!
we knew what was going on.
everyone's like, I certainly
I mean,
did.
we didn't know what was going on really, but
You know, it's cool. It is
Oh,
what it is.
no.
Yeah, Roshan, you are welcome to start working on music. First time in a while you have put pen to paper on trying to make art in any form.
Yeah, so it is definitely a marked change from spending time in the valley because Roshan looks different because he's, I mean, not going to freeze if he wears his turtleneck down, but is not afraid to show off his tattoos, and is actually like getting an instrument out and practicing at night, which he didn't do at all in the valley.
That's beautiful. Finally, the night is occasionally filled with the sound of music. Anybody else? Tordrek, is there anything in particular? You just having a good time, which is always an acceptable answer.
Yeah, he's always looking for that. He is going to always watch and look down at the water from the however far distance he is away from it. Look that way. Always thinking back about what's happened in the last week or so. He feels much more connected with the goddesses than ever before. Almost as if there was maybe just a little bit of doubt that it was that what he chose to do, becoming a priest, was the right thing for him, because his family, it's not what his family was all about. So, but that they reaffirmed that it was his decision was correct. So he's very much holding his holy symbol a lot, singing songs of the Nine Sisters, and helping anybody who needs it in whatever way possible.
Yeah, I think there's just the occasional moment of going over people's the things they're accomplishing. There's Saga stitching her dress, and occasionally you'll see her trying to hold too many pieces together, and Tordrek will come over and hold what needs to be held for as long as he has to. The wind will blow away Roshan's paper, and Tordrek will be the first up trying to catch it.
Aww.
He's
a good friend. Oh my god.
Always there to help clean a friend's tattoo. If your muscles are just too big that you can't exactly reach your entire arm.
Right.
About to get my tattoo.
You're just like 3 days in. Shit.
Yeah.
Guys, we have to turn around.
I'm sorry, Saga. It's not going to happen. We're going in a straight line and we're not doing anything else.
What if there's no tattoo artists anywhere else and that was the one opportunity?
I wouldn't worry about that. There are plenty of other folks who work similar art, if not strictly that style of tattoo work. I've seen other folks wearing them, other folks.
Bro is artist.
That is true, although stick and poke is
Ro
not
makes that face.
exactly his forte. Ro, do you remember that incident when, you were what, 10?
Which one?
Oh, the stick and poke incident, the one what got you the tanning by, oh goodness, was it your mother or mine?
Just any mother ready to just beat the shit out of her son for being bad.
Well, I mean, you did say you wouldn't cry, and you didn't. And it was just when your mom was cleaning your clothes and always saw a little bloody patch in the same place that she even asked.
That's true. And in fairness, I had no idea how to get the blood out of the clothes. I did try washing it in the stream, and it did not seem to work. So
now it's canon that Nana has a tattoo that's just like 3 freckles.
Yeah, basically.
Is it on your arm?
Probably, yeah. Like probably I would guess like around up here, bicep area. You know, where a kid would be like, yeah, that's a tattoo place.
Yeah, mostly now faded. And I'm not going to sit here and do the math. I'm not going to say Roshan like tattooed a 5-year-old or something, but but he certainly might have.
He was 10.
He was 10.
You know.
I'm pretty sure he has some years on Nana. We won't do the math.
No, it wasn't a ton of years. Maybe a few. I don't know.
At least 5 tops.
I mean, like, probably Nana would have insisted. She strikes me as the type of child, like child who would have been like, I know what I want and give it to me.
And Roshan's like, hell yeah.
I guess.
I mean, you see Roshan every day, who you assume in your mind has tattoos.
Yeah,
there are people all over Gull'Lundr who have tattoos.
Yeah.
It's like,
fine.
well, now it's my turn.
Yeah, I'm ready for one. You won't cry, will you? No, I'm a big girl.
And then just the tears.
Random mom.
Just standing tears in the eyes, but like no actual sobbing. Like, she was a trooper.
And if that's everybody's stuff, Fen, if there's something else you wanted to do prior to going to school,
I'm Fen is keeping a close eye on the work that Saga is doing, trying to watch her needlework and be better at being more self-sufficient and not have to ask somebody to fix his stuff. it's not sinking. It seems incredibly boring. Everything about this defend, aside from the company, is so boring. Like we're on a path and we're going in mostly a straight line and we haven't seen anything, so he's trying to keep himself occupied with something. There's only so long he can scan the horizon for wildlife or threats and yeah.
See
So
nothing.
yeah. So Fenn's just kind of he's getting a little antsy.
I understand that. It's
Part
kind
of the
of
time.
being stuck in something that isn't getting to Ranger. It's just being like, normally I'd be at least in the woods. This is a path where you guys pass people often. This is you see mostly people involved in trade coming through. And as you get closer to the next town, you start to see a lot of lumber being transported. Before I jump back into Nana, one more thing. Saga, I'd love to know what you're doing with that armor.
Oh, well, I'm going to work on mending some of the areas that are really bad. And then areas that are just like, well, I guess I can only mend the parts that aren't so bad. So the parts that are very bad, I will add some flair to. So maybe on one of the rips, I turn it into a little leaf or something. And then on another little scuff, I add like a nice little flower. And then I do some kind of embroidery around the sides that are just Lady Satyr symbols going all the way up and around. And then, a few more little things.
This is adding to Fenn's misery because, like, if it was his armor, he would wear it with pride. But, like, he has asked Saga to fix this, but it's not his armor. He has to give it back to someone. But he's not going to correct her because she's being nice enough to fix it for him. He's just like, oh, what do I have to do to fix it? What do I have to do to fix this to make it good when I give it back?
Just growing slowly more anxious as the day passes. When you watch her look at like a spot and she just, and then it's a flower and you're like, oh God, oh no. At least Lady Satyr symbols kind of look like it could be like cross stitches. So at least that's not a huge standout. It's more of the flora fauna thing.
I do add some of the elven stitching as well that I was taught. So there's a little bit.
Of course. Nana, you end up finding a time where, God, on this boring, awful, terrible straight road.
Yeah,
There is certainly time if you wanted to, for a moment, start trying to point Fenn in the direction you would like him to work on his, a skill you want him to work on.
Okay. I guess for the purposes of sort of figuring out my stream of consciousness, I suppose it would be worthwhile narrowing down to a skill, I suppose, to focus in on. Which I could see being either persuasion or at the bare minimum performance. Because I feel like if Fenn can at least present as diplomatic, then it can still function well. But I mean, like, then again, if we're both going in the direction of rogue, possibly deception is a good way to go. Actually, deception is definitely going to come into it because we gotta lie about Ave's fate. Okay, yeah, we're doing deception then.
I could see Fenn being snarky and sarcastic.
Oh yeah, for sure. Actually, I think he's done that on stream previously, possibly. Maybe once or twice by accident.
Sure, you are welcome to try and start. I'm not saying in these 7 days he's going to get a point in deception.
No, but
welcome to start explaining the concept to where it could be a thought in his head.
Okay, all right. Okay, so Fenn.
Yes, Nana.
If you're not busy, I did want to talk with you about something while we're on the way.
I have never been less busy in my life.
Honestly, neither have I. It's weird. Kind of nice, but weird.
It's bumpy.
It rather is. I don't think they designed these carts for supreme comfort, but that's all right. Now, I wanted to talk with you because we're going to be heading into more civilized areas, more towns as we're heading along the road back to Gull'Lundr. And at the very least, something that the son of the chief brought up in Arantoft is rather important. I know that lying is not a part of the culture in Briarheart, but at the very least, it's going to be important on our way home to be able to present a unified story among all of us about what happened to Ave that will not sully his memory.
I don't understand why it would sully his memory. What happened to him was a betrayal, was unjust. Ave would have died weapon in hand. I don't understand the point of misleading anyone.
Well, think about it from the point of view of someone who was not there. Imagine if, say, someone from Gull'Lundr walked up to you as you were coming up to trade some pelts and accused me of taking something from the market. Now, you would not have been there. I'd imagine, you knowing me, you would assume I wouldn't have done it. But could you know that?
But why would they say it if you hadn't done it?
Perhaps in order to get you angry with me, or to cover up something that they had done wrong and place the blame on someone else
But
in
if
order
you-
to avoid getting in trouble.
If someone had told me that you had taken something from the market, I would assume you had a reason to, and that you would make the vendor whole again as soon as you had an opportunity to.
You
My
are
reason
right
is
there.
I'm hungry.
Oh dear. Well, I mean, there you are. Honestly, you are right there. You are right. But think about it then from the point of view of someone who doesn't know me from anyone else, who can't assume the best of me, who can't assume that I would return to the vendor and make things right.
So you want me to tell untruths, not just tell untruths, but tell untruths about our friend who is dead and cannot defend himself.
Less
Would your
telling,
brother want you to say these things?
it's more about the end result. The end result of us telling the story of how Ave met his end with no changes means that anyone who disliked Ave in the first place, and there were people who did, anyone who had a reason to perhaps benefit from Ave losing standing, honor, reputation with the Jarl or with anyone else under the Jarl's command, or even anyone who might stand to simply gain from a little confusion, a little chaos amongst the folk under the Jarl, would seize upon the opportunity of a small group of people who knew Ave, the chief, being the only available witnesses to his end. They would determine that as reason enough for us to paint his end in a respectable way, in a way that is true, yes, but looks on the surface to be dishonorable.
So this is a very big mistruth, a very big untruth. And I don't typically dabble in even small untruths. How should I
Then
practice?
perhaps you could try omitting details from the truth, or you could leave the discussions of details to other folk who can carry, I would call it a story. We are telling a story to protect Ave's legacy until we can get him safely home.
I'll need to practice. This is a skill that I will need honing.
Certainly.
Tordrick, you look very tall today.
I feel it.
See, there you are. There you are. Now, you can always try, if you're not very comfortable with perhaps saying an untruth outright, what you can try is perhaps changing your tone as you say the words so that it sounds as if you don't really believe them. For instance, say, Roshan didn't care for the food that I made last night. Roshan, how might you make a sarcastic quip about that says truths while meaning something else?
Well, I would just say that I really, really liked it.
You're always sass.
Perhaps Roshan's natural state of being makes this a little bit of a difficult example to isolate.
Sorry, I thought that's what you wanted.
That's all right. No, it was what I wanted. It just, it occurred to me after the fact that perhaps it would not stand out perhaps very much from how else you carry your discourse.
Understandable.
I appreciate it nonetheless.
I'm not mad at you.
I'm just picturing Fen in his head like, he says that to me all the time.
Oh, no!
Wait, I thought he really liked that deer I made the other day.
Oh, dear. Oh, no. Oh, goodness. We're just planting
He's going to be like, can't trust anybody these days.
seeds of doubt. Of different ways that you can make an untruth without necessarily leaning full bore into an outright lie.
Let me try again. Gorbjorn, I think you bathed an adequate amount while we were in town.
I don't bathe.
See, he doesn't
Precisely.
believe me.
Well, I mean, that's when you double down.
I can't even smell you from here.
Must have been the ocean.
Doubtless. See, he filled
hold
it in.
on.
He filled it in for you.
He smells terrible. I can smell him. He's sitting at the opposite end of the
There
cart,
you
and I can
are.
still smell him.
There you are.
Everyone else can smell him too. They know I'm lying.
Right, so that's all dependent upon us all being here for the present olfactory experience that is Gorbjorn. Consider an example where no one else would have been around. What say, all right, how about the elk story? Try twisting the elk story a little bit.
I rode an elk, and we slew it, and it wasn't Nana's fault whatsoever. She didn't scare it before it was in the proper position, and I was not afraid when it knocked me from the branch I was on, and it wasn't the biggest elk I'd ever seen, and I had full confidence that Nana would help me if things got out of hand.
All right, that one got... Okay, no,
Fen,
all right.
Fen,
yes,
that was amazing.
That was well done.
I don't know if you've
Yes.
ever really seen an elk before.
Oh, we
I
saw
just can't
two-headed
tell.
elk.
Oh,
It's
I
true.
vouch.
Oh, well, there you go. It was a very believable delivery then.
Oh, I don't think I've heard the first part of that story. It was very interesting.
Well, I'm trying to practice something. I don't have time for it now.
Oh, but
We'll
you
tell
just
it later.
Oh,
We'll try tomorrow.
Oh,
Well, tell you the elk story at some point, Saga. I'm sorry.
But you just. Oh,
Oh,
I'm just gonna get back to my work. I only got that last part. Oh.
Oh, she believed you. Absolutely.
She's like, wow, that's a good elk story.
Yeah. Never heard a better elk story.
That's maybe one of the best elk stories I've ever heard.
We'll have 2 different versions for you in not too long, I suppose.
All right. I am going to say that I'm not going to have any rolls with that currently. This is being introduced. I'm not going to roll to see if he understands. It is a really just the first time dabbling into the concept. And
I feel like we can maybe practice a little over the course of the journey, like quizzing him a little bit on like some sarcastic ways to say things or some small untruths to like nudge in there with some truths and different things. But, you know, it's baby's first lying course over the course of these 6 days.
Yeah. You talk about white lies, you talk about inflection and tone, and you talk about sometimes if you feel like you can't do it, maybe somebody else can, depending on the level of lie. These are concepts that you discuss throughout the week. I'm going to say it stays in this similar tone throughout, just being like, okay, I'm going to give it a go, but I also hate it and I don't want to. But I'm not going to say that because I'm learning to lie. I'm having a good time. I love this.
This whole journey has been delightful.
There you go.
We did
That's
it.
a
Yes.
winner.
I
That's a
hated the
winner.
valley.
Deception.
What are you talking
Been
about?
wonderful.
Corbin's like, this sucked. I hate it.
I can't believe you think that. I hated it.
All right. I know we covered basically everything, but you guys have had time to think. Is there anything else you guys wanted to accomplish in that time? There will be down the line more travel time if there's something you wanted to do later. But if there's something you just wanted to at least mention you're going to start dabbling in, happy to hear about it. But if not, I shall continue forward.
Do
What?
do we have any other representations of Ave's crest of the 3 spears? Does Nana have a token of that or anything? Do we have anything like that around?
Something back in Gold'Lundr.
Well, is there anything with us now?
I mean, not that I can think of off the top of my head. I don't think you guys really carry around tokens of it.
Okay, so from the best I can from memory, and the filigree is going to be all wrong, but I'm gonna try to carve a little disc of the 3 spears, just in the event that we don't recover Ave's crest in time for nating it. That there's something there. So that's what Fenn's working on. Aside from just nervously watching the horizon and being disappointed that nothing fucking happens.
That is going to be something
Fenn's
we
doing.
have to catch. We have to catch Fen back up on that because that was something that Dagwood mentioned after Fen had been sent from her home.
Well, the will stated it as well.
Yeah.
Well, it did, yes, but it's
that is necessary for the ritual, no, but
it is something that he would have liked.
Especially, I would say just this is something a lot of you would know, especially living in Gull'Lundr, especially you, Nana.
Yeah.
Even having something to represent the crest would set people at ease.
Okay.
Having him burned with something or it passed down would set him at ease or set the people at ease. Whether you decide to send this off with him or not. To have something is nice, whether it is not the original, but that is something you can look into later if you guys decide to go just like full John Wick and all of you just hunt these people down.
I mean, it's tempting. It's tempting for Nana at the very least.
Yeah, so what Fenn's carving is, I mean, he knows Nana's got two spears on her back. Like, he knows what a spear looks like, so he's gonna kind of copy that as best he can, and he knows that there's a filigree along the edges, but what Fenn's carving looks much more vegetative. It looks much more it looks as much Yggdrasil as it does Golveg. And that's just because that's the sort of filigree that Fenn would normally be carving. So,
it's what he knows how to do.
Yeah, so he's doing the best he can.
Yeah, I'm sure that you could probably get additional notes from Roshan and Nana both about little details that you're just like, I don't know, is it like this? Is it like this? And either Ro or Nana could be like, well, kind of like that.
Is it more like a wreath, or does it go all the way around? Like, is it like this? Does it cross at the bottom? You guys work together, Fenn carving a representation of the chief's crest.
Yeah, and it's I'm not trying to duplicate it by any means. Like, this is not part of my deception training. I'm not trying to pass this off as stolen.
I mean, it could, but we're not.
Crest is has a lot of gold on it.
Yeah,
the representation of Golveg. So that's something that you don't really have on hand. But what you are making is something I think that is very nice.
Yeah, this is wood grained, and occasionally I'll heat my knife, my kukri on a torch, and put some burn marks on it to add texture, kind of, to some depth to it. But yeah, it's not. There's no metal work going on here. This is just a wooden carving.
Of course,
that's valid, and I think it's still really nice.
Yeah, that's something to work on. Sean, I would love if you just rolled me a d20, and also make sure you take 6 days worth of stuff out of your inventory. That'd be rad.
Yeah, I already did, and I got a 7.
Oh, a 7, you say?
Oh no! Oh boy!
This is hot to you.
If this is something you bring up, I'm gonna assume no, but you never know how you're feeling. Those two statements I made are actually very separate. Throughout this week, you see glimpses of that shadow. Whether it's when you guys set up camp at the end of the day and fire dances around in the shadows. Occasionally you'll see somebody walk by. Occasionally you'll see, and they always seem focused on you, just watching. They don't get as close as they did in Arentoft. And it's always just a glance, like if you see them and then blink, no longer there. Sometimes you'll see them sitting on the cart, blink, gone. But throughout the week, you see this thing an unsettling number of times, as if it is another member of your party, just ever present, but you never know when. And then as quickly as you see them, they are gone.
So about halfway through the week, when he starts noticing them, he would attempt to cast the message spell and just kind of whisper something under his breath while pointing out in the direction that he saw it. And just ask a question. Who are you? What are you? What do you want? Each time, but not really expect an answer.
Roll Arcana for me.
Okay. Ooh, even with a +8, that's 10.
Okay. Ooh, ouch.
You attempt this on the occasions where you're able to kind of pinpoint and then have time to cast a spell. You either get nothing, or there's a squirrel who just is in the back and is huh, as something speaks in its head, and it freaks out and runs. There is one time You think you made some sort of contact, and it sounds like wind and garbled voices. Multiple voices speaking at the same time. You don't understand them. And it is just a rushing sound in your ears. And then it kind of cuts off, like just turned off instantly. Just for a couple seconds, you hear this, but you only get that once.
Other than that, he will probably just keep it to himself for now, since
Yeah.
he's not even sure it's like really real.
Yeah, I could be hallucinating, you guys,
Yeah.
which I also don't want to tell everybody I'm hallucinating. So see, that's where we are.
Because they'll make me stop doing my drugs.
Then they'll be like, hey, listen, it's time for intervention. And you'll be like, I don't know what you're talking about. I have to leave the party.
Nope, yep, bye. Would rather leave the party than confront his own personal demons.
Hey, listen, you know, it is what it is. Makes sense to me. You're near towns. Bergeron's like, I'll chill in this town. You guys keep going.
If
Yeah, go ahead.
if Saga's seeing Fen doing some crafting, that's very interesting. So she will hop off the horse, which she's been periodically riding just for fun.
This poor confused horse, like, I don't understand, but I'm well trained.
Yes. And she'll bring the leather armor with her, so they can craft together. Can I sit with you?
No, you can't sit with me. I don't like you.
Nada, this is happening like right behind you on the cart.
Does it?
Okay.
Can I glance over and see?
I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I'll go back over there.
She believed me and it hurt her feelings. I'm never doing this again.
Oh, no, it's all right. It's all right.
I'm
Hey.
sorry. I like you a lot. You're a good person. I'm
He was
sorry.
practicing his deception.
I was practicing being untruthful because Nana told me it was important, but this is stupid.
Dumb and I hate you.
Perhaps so long as we're with the party, it would be worthwhile mentioning before you start to practice. Not with people outside the party, mind you. But with people inside the party, maybe announce before you make an untruth. No? Yes? No?
Okay, Saga,
Marky,
please.
I'm going to lie to you.
Saga, yes, please sit with me.
No.
I'm sorry. I didn't.
It's fine. I didn't realize there was a game going on.
It's a
alright.
stupid game. I don't want to play it anymore.
Was that true or false?
That was true.
I'm not sure what the correct answer is.
Oh, no. We're not playing right now, Saga. It's all right.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna sit down then.
Nana just like facing forward, screaming internally, this is terrible! I allowed this to happen!
I just saw that you were making something, and then I was working on this for you, so I wanted to, see if I could help you, and then you could maybe tell me some things about what you like, so then I can do it in the armor. Like what's your favorite animal and your favorite color and stuff. But if you're like too busy, that's okay too.
No, Saga, I'm not too busy. I've got absolutely nothing to do, and I would love the company. As far as what you're doing with the armor, it's not my armor. I borrowed it from a man named Garrick Thistledown. He was Nettle's brother before she passed. He doesn't much like me, but his parents like me, and they made him lend me his armor for the wedding. And I've not been back since then, and that's the importance in getting it fixed, is I want to return it to him once we're back near home.
Okay. Well, this is good. Do you know anything about him? Do you know his favorite animal and color? We can make it look super, super nice, and then you'll give it to him, and he'll like you much, much more.
He likes wolves.
Okay.
He's a hunter. professionally a hunter. That's what he does for the tribe.
Okay.
He's been doing it much longer, decades longer than I have. He's very good at it.
Is
But
it like in the forest or in the mountains?
in the forest and wherever the game trail leads him, I like him. I look up to him quite a bit, but he doesn't like me. Didn't think I was suited to be betrothed to his sister, even though that's what the
Well-
matriarchs wanted. But that's neither here nor there.
Well,
I
why
appreciate-
does some of that doesn't make sense? Why was he deciding that?
He wasn't deciding, and that's what frustrated him. The matriarchs, the mothers of the tribe, set these matches. It's important. It's tradition. We wood elves, we're a shrinking community, and there are not many of us. And pairs are arranged very carefully so that bloodlines don't. So the bloodlines cross where they need to, and there's not a risk of inbreeding. There's most people aren't lucky enough to have a match with somebody they really love. Most couples have their extramarital matches, with people that they actually love, but breeding is kept very carefully managed within marriages for that purpose, because there are not many of us left, at least not here. And
Well, that's
but I was very lucky to have had my marriage arranged with Nettle, who is somebody who I very much loved personally.
oh
And then I lost her.
oh. Well, that's very sad. But I mean, do you have a lot of good memories? What was she like?
She was very brave and very kind-hearted. She always did everything she could for people around her. She was creative. She crafted many things. She was wise. She knew how to make medicines. She was the sweetest person I'd known. And I loved her since we were children. And she's been gone 2 years now.
That's very sad. But it's also very happy that you were able to be with somebody who's that wonderful. It sounds like it was a very good time. And
Yes,
I'm very happy that you were able to meet her and spend time with her and it's very good.
I'm grateful for the time I spent with her as well. She wasn't given a full life, not nearly by the standards, even by the standards of a human, but she was only in her 30s when she passed, which is essentially a teenager, the same as me. She was 3 years older than I was, and she should have lived hundreds of years longer.
Oh,
And I sound selfish to say these things. There were others that were lost in the same attack, but she was the love of my life, and I'll never find another like her.
well, that's true, but at least, yeah, that's very sad. But I guess, in the end, I guess you just have to accept it because there's nothing that you can do, because there's nothing that anyone can do about things like that.
No, she's gone, and there's nothing we can do about that. But
Yeah.
but you've mentioned to me that you don't remember any of your past. Is there?
See, that's
Do
the
you
thing.
know where you started your journey? Can we When we're done fulfilling Ave's wishes, can we try to find out where you came from?
Oh, I don't know. See, that's the difference. At least, like, you have the memories, and that's it. They're sad memories, but you have them, and that's really nice, and you should be really grateful for that. Um, I don't want to sound like I'm. It's just, it's kind of hard when you don't remember. Even if they're bad memories, I wouldn't mind remembering, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've thought about going back, but if I don't know anything, then what's the point?
Well, where did you start your journey? What's the longest, the oldest thing that you remember?
Well, getting out of the water and going going on my first quest.
Where was that? Where did you get out of the water?
It was near the pleading cliffs, Freya's fingers, that area, I believe.
That's a long way from here. You must have seen much on your way. Do you remember everything since then?
Well, yeah, like I was in the water. I got out of the water. I remember, like, knowing that Lady Seder was with me and that she had a quest for me, and then there was like could hear like a child crying in the background. I don't know what that was about, but my mission was the other direction, so I went the other way, and then I started on the first prophecy. And then after that, I never went back to that area.
There was a child crying behind you that you... In a town? In a...
Yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of it stuck out in. It's just maybe it was because it was one of the first sounds that I heard, other than the waves. But yeah, it was very sad. It made my heart hurt, but I had things that I needed to do, and then I heard. Oh, I heard some. No, but I heard some people. There were some people that tended to the child, so then it was okay. The child. I'm sure they were fine. Anyway, yeah. So wolves in the forest. What's hunting like? I don't.
Quickly segue into so hunting. What do wolves look like?
Did we all hear this? Like,
I'm
Yeah,
sure
we're all
most of you
there.
heard that conversation. Yeah, most of you were kind of on the cart and awkwardly pretending not to be present while they talk their stories. Like, yeah, basically, unless it's like specified people are by themselves, everybody's there. It's just Nana like a foot away being like, focus on the road. Oh man, oh geez, let them talk. But yeah, you guys
been doing human things.
all right. You all work on the crafts and your clothing. There's on the 5th day, Saga, you have your full outfit and can put it on instead of your just completely acid destroyed one. And I'm sure it's a day just consisting of like, look at this, and just kind of making things move.
Yep. Throwing up my hood and then like this, and then just running around and be like, I'm a jellyfish.
There's just Saga running around the cart, just mumbling, I'm a jellyfish, as she just makes her way around. On the 6th day, you start to see changes in the terrain. And by changes in the terrain, I mean that there to be very uniform trees. The trees become, to the extent that you would realize it was done this way on purpose. And then you hit into areas where the trees have been completely taken out. There are areas just of stumps, and then there are areas that is just propagated land that looks like it's sort of waiting its turn to be the next, acre of wood. It seems that this place was made in stages, prepping, in use, going to be used. And you can see that very defined in the wood space around you. As you get closer to town, you can see, you start seeing people who aren't, traveling and transporting. They're people who are working. You can see that there are people actively trying to cut down trees. There are people actively pulling the bark off and starting to split lumber, starting to pick things up, put them on carts. Yes, Nona?
What's the sort of spread of...
Never mind. Go ahead.
Am I? Hello?
Just a delay.
Okay, good. Then what is the sort of spread of races among the workers? Are they mainly human? Are there dwarves in these groups?
I would
Any
say
other?
most places, including this one, human is going to be the main thing unless you're going to very specific areas. So it is definitely mostly humans. Occasionally you may see the point of an ear, but it is nothing so intense as you would think, that's an elf. The most you can see is maybe a half elf or a dude whose ears are a little pointier.
Maybe quarter elf down there.
Yeah, about fifth elf.
Oh no.
But it
Are
does
we
not,
still? Go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, there does not seem to be, no dwarves stand out. It doesn't seem like there are any dwarves working here. What was your question, Finn?
Are we still far enough north that these are all pretty much evergreen trees, or are we seeing any deciduous trees as well?
I would say you're mostly dealing, I would say, in the pine department.
Okay.
But this is
It's like you got possessed for a second.
I had to think about it because in my mind, for a second I was just like, evergreen and deciduous are the same, and I'm like, are they? And I'm like, I don't know. I had deciduous as a spelling word in elementary school, and that's about it. Deciduous and is the one that sometimes is not green.
They lose their leaves. Oh, you wouldn't know this in Georgia because nothing loses its leaves on there, but
Oh no, we lose
I
plenty.
need you to be nice to me.
We lose plenty in Georgia. Then we get
so
them
like
back
pines,
with the addition of yellow
conifers. Okay, so we're
awfulness.
still at a
Mostly
pretty high elevation and or pretty high latitude.
Yeah.
So Finn's just trying to place where he might be within the world based on what kind of trees he's seeing. That's all.
Yeah, you are still something that's probably unsettling, kind of like a shadow, is you guys are very close to the mountain. The mountain is just looming over you to your left as you make your way south. And then the ocean, if you went over the cliff, is to your right, is where you are currently making your way basically between ocean and mountain. Basically, cliff and mountain is kind of the line you ride. Not like any of them are within touching distance, but that is kind of what you're sandwiched between still. As you approach this, which some of you would know that Hoyger Cliff is a tree farming community. It's a lumber mill. That's what basically it's in an aspect, not a town. It is a business where you can sleep and you live there and eventually you die there. Basically, you live here, you work here, you eventually die here, or you can leave. You know, it's not slave labor, but it's basically like, yeah, everybody
You
lives
can
on
only buy food out of the company store using the special company script. But it's not slave labor. It's fine.
No,
Slave
that's
labor.
definitely they don't owe debts to the person in charge. Definitely not. You all start approaching, and anybody who thinks they're kind of looking about, go ahead and give me a perception check.
Ooh, perception check.
19.
Whee!
I'm gonna retire these dice here in a hot minute. It's a 9.
Who got 10 and over? Okay. Tordrek, Gorbjorn, and Saga. Fen, I'm going to say you're currently kind of working in your stuff. You look around and you're like, okay, it's just a bunch of humans doing tree stuff. Boring. You go back to your work. Nana, you are fully focused on horses. Make the horses
Driving.
go straight. Now there's people. Don't hit people.
The last thing we need is a hit and run.
And they'll find us. We can't go that fast.
I don't have cart
no.
insurance.
Oh no, I didn't get insurance for my 2-horse cart.
Oh no.
But the three of you, as you kind of look around, you're like, oh, okay. Nothing of much interest stands out to you. And occasionally you see a group of 2 walk by. And then another group of 2 walk by. Each of them armed with bow and arrow, some sort of short sword at the side. You realize that there is some sort of, you only can equate it to a watch. That walking around this town is ongoing sets of guards. And each time somebody walks by, you don't recognize them. So throughout this whole time moving towards town, you can only assume there's dozens of guards around the perimeter. As you make your way in, you can see that you're starting to see buildings now, and you can see that it's basically smaller sort of shacks everybody lives in. And it's basically the same all across the board. And you can see something akin to a shop and akin to an inn. You think it's, first off, incredibly small, hoping there are beds there. And you see one of the men on the watch comes over with his partner. Excuse me, I'm going to have to ask you to just stop real quick. We're just going to check your card over, and we also need to give you some information to keep you safe.
Certainly, by all means.
I'm gonna double bundle up, just to make sure I'm not fucking green.
You bundle up, just little eye slot as you cover yourself as much as you can. The man smiles at you, a very pleasant smile. All right, this will be nice and quick, so I'll get you out of here as fast as I can. And that is where we are going to take our break. We are going to take a 10-minute break, so you have time to go get yourself some snacks, because, you know, this is just going to be a fun time, and nothing ever goes wrong because I'm kind and everything's nice here. So go get your snacks.
We love our benevolent dungeon master.
I am kind. So thank you guys for being here so far. We'll be back in 10 minutes, and we'll get right back into the story. See you guys in 10.
Thank you.
Hello. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to On the Backs of Guides, episode 25. We just finished our 10-minute break, and we are going to jump back into things. Before, the party had been traveling for 6 days on their way to Hoigercliff from Arentoft. During that time, Saga worked on a nice outfit. Some conversations were had about pasts and futures, and maybe sometimes we have to lie, but because things are coming to a head. And maybe some people kept seeing things out of the corner of their eye, the usual.
Like you do.
We left off with everybody arriving in town, into this logging community where it seems people basically live here to work. If you live here in town, you work in some capacity for the logging community. It's just fancy job where you have an apartment, basically. And by fancy, I mean not good. You get to live somewhere is basically the setup.
I mean, in a feudal system such as we have, I suppose that's
this
pretty
would
good.
Made. You get fed and you get a house. All right. Sorry, I pushed a button. Okay. Sorry, guys. Buttons happen sometimes. You arrive in town. You see it's mostly a human population, as a lot of places are. And you can see that there is a lot of guards walking around. And by guards, I don't mean it's, men in metal armor, kind of marching patrol. From what you guys can see, the best word you would use to identify these people is that they're rangers. You would think that this is a bunch of rangers on patrol. As they make their way around. And one of these groups approached you, a group of 2 men armed with long bows and short swords. The guy who approached you, he smiled, and he kind of comes up to the cart. Right, continue. If you could just show me just what's in your cart vaguely, just to make sure you don't have anything we don't want coming into town. And then I'm going to give you the rundown about what's going on here, because it's starting to get a bit late. So if you stay in town, which I advise for tonight, you are prepared for what could happen if you decide to leave during the night.
What don't you want in town?
Well, there are some people, sometimes will catch smugglers. You can just, or bring a large sum of weapons in, and it seems you all have personal weapons. That's fine. We're not going to confiscate them. We don't have an issue. It's basically just getting the look of people and making sure it's not going to be an issue towards working, and you guys don't have like a bandit look to you. And if you are bandits, you're playing it real good, that you're not. So
We look like
I suppose if we were bandits, we'd take that as a compliment. But otherwise, I believe our business is on the straight and narrow. We have some personal supplies, as you said, some food, some rations, climbing materials here. She kind of pulls it out of one of the boxes.
yeah, right.
It's fairly basic stuff.
Could I look in the larger box if that's okay?
Certainly, I believe that would be more than fine. And she kind of like maybe brushes next to Roshan briefly.
Dear God help.
So Roshan is going to, as he gets brushed or he understands what's happening, he's going to cast Major Image.
Ooh.
And from inside the box, it sounds just a little like squeaking, like rats. And he pipes up and says, it's just rats in there. You might not want to open the box. We're just transporting them. Someone's got a snake that has a very particular diet and wouldn't want them to overrun your town or anything.
You're absolutely right. What was I thinking? We never really got the enclosure to close down well.
Huh. Roshan, I'd like you to roll deception. I'm giving you advantage because you have Major Image happening and Nana backing you up.
That is a 21.
Ooh, nice.
Okay. The man starts to walk around the back, and he sort of stops when he hears the squeaking. Interesting. Interesting hobbies people have. So where are you heading? You're going south. Any particular destination in mind?
Headed to Gull'Lundr.
Oh, nice. Nice place, I've heard.
Mhm.
Well, I'm going to give you the quick rundown, and then you can go on your way. I don't see any issue here. First off, I am Bosch. It's very nice to meet you all. We may not run into each other again, depending on what you decide to do and, shifts and whatnot. But I'm sure if you need assistance, you can find somebody to help you. I do want to give you the rundown that we have recently had an issue, we believe, with bear attacks. There was recently a very large bear sighted, and sadly killed a handful of people. And currently we have not located it. That's why we have such a large number of people about and searching. But the attacks seem to happen more at night. So we just want you all to be prepared, mainly because the town has a curfew. We need to be inside by a certain time. There will still be rangers about. But if you are staying here, and if you stay here, you're going to be staying at the God, what's the place called? And he looks over at the other guy, and the other guy's like, shit, I don't go there. The Woodpecker's Beak. Yeah, it's probably, yeah, that's it. Yeah, if you guys are staying at the Woodpecker's Beak, they have some beds there, and currently you're the only visitors in town. So hopefully you got a place to stay. But I would advise that, especially with your cargo of small animal, that you should probably turn in here for safety and then leave bright and early in the morning.
Ben perked right up at the mention of a giant bear tormenting the town, and he's like tugging alternately on Gorbjorn and Nana's cloaks. Like,
Not same bear.
is there a reward for taking this bear?
Yeah, actually, the chief think it's 50 gold. Nothing too crazy, but
50 gold. I could sell a bear's
Oh.
pelt to a normal bear's pelt.
gold is gold. That's what it was last time I saw the sign. So I think it's because they don't want to encourage townspeople to go looking for it.
I suppose if the
We are
reward
not
was
people of town.
good.
Yeah, I'm also going to have to advise you not to, especially if we have to then go try and find your corpses. And I mean that super politely. You all look very capable, but from what people are saying, this bear went into someone's house, killed a whole family.
Was
I advise you not to tell me what to do.
Roll intimidation.
Well,
19.
I advise you to tell him what to do. He is harmless.
oh no.
Bosch raises an eyebrow. Right. It wasn't actually a telling you what to do. It was a me telling you what the town mandates you do. So.
Well, I suppose mandates passed down by town leadership are really placed there for the betterment of the community, and we'll do what we can to make sure that we abide responsibly.
Yeah. I'm just gonna let you go. If you have any issues, I really can't address those for you. You could talk to Merritt. He's like the, I don't know what you'd call him, sheriff, lawman, guy in charge of us, basically. But you could try and find him. I can't do much for you. I'm going to continue my rotation. I advise you not to go find this bear. The descriptions have been something out of nightmares. I've never heard of a bear like this before.
Mm.
So do what
It
you
does
like.
sound really awful. Hopefully we won't see it, but you lot will be the first ones to know if we do. Not that we'll be going looking for it.
What are the descriptions that you've received there?
Well, there haven't been too many sightings, but from what we've observed at the home, this bear had to have been big. From what I looked at, bigger than any bear I've seen. Something vicious too, takes out a whole family. Body's gone, just taken out. Something.
It bit their door?
The door ripped off the hinges. It was able to get inside.
It certainly seems determined if it managed to carry off a family's worth of bodies without being found by anyone.
That's just what I've heard. Well, I'm gonna get back. I advise tonight that you just stay at the inn, just for your own safety and us not having to try and find your corpses later. It's just my preference. Most of our preference not to have to go find your corpses.
We'll
Certainly.
definitely do that. There's no question that we will stay in the inn and not try to find this bear. We'll absolutely do that.
What he said.
Definitely.
Fan, I'd like you to roll deception with disadvantage, please.
Oh.
It's a 5.
Okay. Yeah, all right. Bosch kind of puts his hands up. I can't stop you. Not my job. And he kind of makes his way back, and he kind of motions you guys forward. You can head on in. There's a place to store all your stuff. Inn is also pretty cheap. Do what you like. And he joins the other man, and they continue back on their route.
Thank you very much, Bosch. We appreciate it.
He kind of gives you a kind of like he raises his hand, kind of in acknowledgement. And they walk off. Are you guys going to make your way into town at least to find the woodpecker's beak?
I think so. Not a bad attempt, Fen, honestly. Not a bad
He did
try.
a good job that he believed us.
Yes, we'll go with that.
So we're going to kill this bear, right? This is the bear we saw earlier. It has to be,
yeah.
or similar. Like
Nah.
a giant bear that tears a whole door off a home. This is a bear we should have killed a long time ago, but we didn't get a chance to. We must kill it now. We have to do this.
Just so excited, like bouncing in his seat, like, guys!
It's been a week. We haven't done fuck all. Let's go kill a bear.
Only if we can do it without getting anyone else in danger.
Well, it would only be us being endangered, and we've taken on things worse than bears.
Oh, that's true. But we still need to take any precautions that we can, and try not to make it look like we're flaunting the watch right under there.
Sorry, we were rocking out to your glitch voice.
Your dubstep.
Oh boy. I never get to hear my amazing dubstep
you
voice
just get to
except
hear
in
yourself normal. But
I just get to hear myself speaking like a rational, sane human being, and I see people dancing in the background. I'm like, I guess they must really like my idea, huh?
they're really into this whole thing. I'm nailing it.
All right. They
You
believe me.
make your
They
way.
believe me.
Believe it.
It's pretty easy to differentiate tavern from store from homestead, because all the homesteads literally look the same, and the inn has a sign and the shop has a sign that literally just says shop, and they are slightly bigger than the homes, which are probably, if Gorbjorn wanted to, he could lay out on the floor and touch one side, and then with his foot touch the other. These places are pretty small, one bedroom sort of setup. And you can,
Prefabs.
yeah, you can see looking around that it's not just men and women who work here, it's their families. And you can see multiple people going into the shop. The occasional kid runs by. And as you all scan around, you can see walking next to you a girl, maybe about 7 years old, hair in little pigtails, and she's wearing just a very kind of plain, you can tell it was sewn by her mother sort of dress. Hi. And she just sort of is walking along next to the cart, following you.
I just
Hello.
scare her off, just like general yelling, like "Rah!"
You try to yell at her?
Yeah, I mean, she's just gonna steal information or pay for gold for. She's just gonna
What?
swindle us.
You're welcome to roll intimidation if you'd like to.
9. Oh wow, she's a toughie.
You kind of
is
lean over
made
and
of
you go, "Ah," and you
steel.
kind of yell at her, and she just kind of like looks at you, and she's like, "Oh, like the bear, oh, scary. They won't let me go look at the house because but people were murdered there, and it's so cool, and they won't even let me look at it."
What
Oh,
house?
that
Honestly, you sound just like I did at your age. I
There's-
completely understand you. What's your name, kiddo?
My name's Layla. There's a house on the end of town, and they said a big scary monster just killed everybody, and it's real spooky. And they're like, "Layla, you can't go there," and I'm like, "I won't," and they catch me every time, and I haven't gotten to look at it once.
That is very, very sad, and I'm sorry to hear that. Do you know? Can you keep this
Secret.
I
Can you
am very
keep a
good-
secret, Layla?
I am very good at keeping secrets and won't tell anybody.
Layla, I think our friend Nana here is having some problems. So
Yeah, she looks like her whole body just froze up, and it's honestly very spooky to look at.
I'll
Scary.
tell you what. You say that people keep.
Can I insight
catching
that?
You can go ahead and roll insight. Fen, you can keep going.
You say people keep catching you as you go to go check out this house.
Uh-huh.
If you tell me a little bit about this bear and the people in town, I'll teach you how not to get caught.
Sounds like a pretty good deal.
But you have to use this if you see danger too. You can't just use this to stay away from people trying to catch you. If you see a big bear, you have to stay away from it too, using these skills. Now look, it's getting dark, but it's not all the way dark yet. You see how the sun casts a shadow?
Yeah.
Hide in the shadow, and your face is a little lighter than your clothes. So keep your head down a bit, like this, because the light reflects off of your face, and it's easier to see you. You have dark hair, so see what you can do about using your dark hair to wrap around your face. Keep your hands in close.
Yeah.
Crouch down small to stay out of sight. Now look around you. What sorts of things? You're a small girl, but you're still bigger than most things out on this road. What things do you see that you can hide behind? There's some barrels over there. There's some logs over there. Those logs stacked up for planking, for cutting. You can hide behind those. Those are the things you want to do, and you want to move very, very slowly unless you're absolutely sure that no one's looking. If you're sure no one's looking, then move very quickly to where you want to go and hide in the next spot and wait and take care of your opportunities. And that is how you hide. That's how a professional hunter hides. And you are precocious enough to be a hunter someday. Now,
I'm 100% going to go see this house.
so tell
I
me
don't
about
think
this
that's a good
bear.
idea. Oh my.
I said I'd tell you about the bear, and I'll tell you what I've heard about it. I haven't gotten to see the bear, 'cause, you know.
Well, you've heard people talking.
Yeah. There was a while ago. There was a little boy, and he got taken. And they're pretty sure that was the first time the bear came. Um, and then there was the time, and it was just maybe like a little bit less than a week ago that the family got taken, and they said that it just the door was like, wah, and that the walls were like, eh, and that there was blood everywhere. That there was just, it sunk into the floor, and someone's like, we're gonna have to burn that down. I don't know how to clean all that. And somebody was like, oh, well, I don't know, that costs a lot of money to build another house. But I don't know. It probably lives in the woods around here. Uh, but it seems it only does stuff at night. Nobody's seen this big bear during the day, and they've hunted some bears. After this happened, they a lot of the fancy rangers came around and they caught a bunch of bears, but none of them were like really big. And then the attack happened, so it didn't change. But but I've heard the house looks pretty cool. And
Well,
she kind of
Layla,
points, and she's like, "It's that way."
Layla, let me tell you one more thing.
Uh-huh.
You have to keep in mind what you're trying to stay away from.
Okay.
Now, people like you and me,
Mm-hmm.
we don't smell very well, but we can see pretty well. But bears smell very well. They can smell you from a long way away, and there's nothing you can do to hide your scent. So, if you're trying to hide from a bear, you can't hide by just staying in the dark. You need to make sure that you can cover your scent somehow. Um, so don't try to use what I've told you to hide from bears. Only use it to hide from bad people.
Okay.
So,
Shadows when mom tries to find me, and
Oh no.
trees and something harder to catch if it's the bear.
well, some bears can climb. The bigger they are, the harder they have a time climbing. But some bears can climb, so don't rely on that. It's best to stay near grown-ups who can help you when the bear is around. So at night, stay by your parents. Um, During the day, and if you want to go hiding and looking around and learning new things, by all means, go run about and use the things I've told you. But don't try to find this bear because it's it's going to be a better hunter than you are right now until you learn more.
Okay. I will not try to find this bear because that's not a good idea. But I'm going to go look at that house when nobody's looking.
Okay, just
Oh.
It's a compromise.
She smiles and she's like, or I could go with you because you guys are grown-ups, and then I'd be safe. And you see sort of a heavier set woman, probably in her late 20s, early 30s, kind of comes over, looks disheveled, like she's through the ringer. Layla, let's leave these people alone.
Oh
And
no.
Layla's like, shit. And you see she tries to like step into the shadow of the cart, but her mom's looking dead at her.
She was just introducing us. She's been very helpful to us.
I'm sure she has. That's what everyone says about her, that she's incredibly helpful. Layla, come on. Let's not bother these people. I need help inside anyways. And she's like,
Please,
no.
just be careful. I think she wants to go to the whatever the house is, the scary house. She's been talking about going. I think you should really watch her very well lately.
The mom looks over at Layla. What did we say about going to the Mattis house? And she comes over and she grabs Layla's arm. We don't go to the Mattis house because it's too cool. And Layla gets kind of pulled away as her mom pulls her inside. Thank you for telling me. Definitely not shocked. We're going inside. And kind of just pulls Layla, who's like and you can see her eyes darting around, and you see them like focus in on like a stack of barrels that has a shadow, and she's like, and you just kind of see the confirmation on her face of game plans as she is pulled inside. Nana, from your trying to incite her earlier, first off, 100% she was lying about not wanting to find the bear and go to the house and do things by herself. She 100% wants to do that. But
yeah, 100%.
She's currently being dragged inside by her mother, and they go into one of the nearby little houses. And you guys are left alone after learning about the Mattis house.
And you're gonna get that little girl killed. What the heck?
I told her not to go after the bear.
She's not just gonna be okay with that. She's gonna try to go after the bear. You could see how curious she is. She
We're
was
gonna
exactly
kill
like
the
you.
bear. Within 24 hours, we're going to kill this bear.
Well,
And I've just given her gifts that she can use as skills for the rest of her life.
No,
Now
what
we
if she
just stay
runs?
up all night.
What?
Sorry. We
That
have to
sounded
stay up all
aggression.
night.
Oh, well, I don't want to kill a bear, but
You don't have to. You stay in the inn and drink milk, whatever it is you do, Saga.
Whatever you do, sit, drink milk, the usual.
Or you can help us. You've already helped us with a bear once.
I just don't want you guys to get hurt. But don't just tell kids that stuff like that. She's gonna get lost and then not know where her mom is, and then she's gonna get hurt or something, and that's.
Well, she'll know where she is. They won't know where she is. That's the
Yes,
idea.
and see what if she can't find her way back, and then she gets lost and she doesn't have any food, and then she's hungry, and then she's like.
Then
yeah.
she'll stop hiding and she'll
But
try
if
to
she's
find
lost,
help.
In
what if she
town?
can't? Well, she could be hiding in the woods. You told her to go out in the woods.
I did not tell her to go in the woods.
Oh, she talked about it though. I'm just.
She might well use your lessons for purposes you did not intend, Fen. Is the only thing we're mentioning.
The Lord speaketh.
Nana, what age were you and I when we started our sojourning and our adventures? And Gorbjorn, for that matter, did we stay hiding in town anywhere, or were we young, precocious kids who found adventure wherever adventure was? There's a bear around this town that is hurting people. We're going to kill it, and there will be no more bear.
There's other
Right.
things.
For the moment, this is a longer conversation than we can have in the middle of a town square. We'll come back to it. Let's put a pin in that for later.
Very well.
Not like that.
Pins. Do they have pins here?
No, not like that. No. I misspoke.
Never say the word.
But
again.
I guess I can't. Let's just make our way to the Woodpecker's Beak and find rooms, and we'll figure out our game plan for
And
you.
pins, apparently.
Now no.
Don't be distracted by the pins. We have a bear to kill.
I sincerely doubt they employ any in a town as small and as focused as this one seems to be. Regardless, I can promise you I won't.
All right.
You all easy enough to find the Woodpecker's Beak because this town is basically a straight path and houses just along it. It is not incredibly fancy and detailed. Easy enough. You guys arrive at the Woodpecker's Beak, and inside there's a pretty bored looking woman kind of like cleaning her fingernails. Oh, hello, visitors. Are you looking for a room or a drink?
Well, we were in need of a room or two, perhaps, maybe 3 to split between us. Depends on what you have.
Well, we don't exactly have rooms per se. We have the spot where you can sleep. It is basically just the kind of barn-looking attachment on the side, and there's some straw beds. And but because it's kind of garbage, it's only a copper per bed. So you're happy to stay here pretty cheap if everyone gives a copper. And you'll be good for the night. And this includes meal, but drinks cost.
Are the drinks cheap too?
Well, it depends. If you work here, they're a bit cheaper because, benefits. But for you guys, they're probably going to be about 5 copper. I haven't really had visitors besides the people who work here in quite some time. So yeah, probably about 5 copper for a pint. If you want less than that, I'm sure we could figure something out or different types of drinks, but we mostly just have ale.
I'm thirsty. Anyone else? I'm buying.
Well, if you're buying, then I'll certainly have one.
I'll have one, but we need to keep our wits about us. We've got a bear hunt.
Naturally. Well,
Bear hunt.
Only speaking about collecting some stories from around the town. We heard there was some sort of disturbance going on, some sort of big bear.
Oh yeah, bears killed a bunch of people. If you're going to go hunt a bear, that's not really my business, as long as you pay for your beds first.
Fair enough. I think I can cover the... It would be 6 copper between us. No? Yes? Am I mathing that right?
Yes,
6
it
for-
is 6
yeah, 1
copper
copper
for
a bed.
beds, and
Yeah.
then the exorbitant price comparatively for drinks.
Yeah. But I can cover the 6 copper for everybody's beds, I think.
Okay. You
That's
pay for the
doable.
beds. Drinks are given out. It is shitty ale. It's not very good.
Oh.
It's not a very good experience.
You have cider.
Cider.
What about maple syrup, like good stuff you get out of a tree?
Oh, we have syrup. Yeah, let me get you some syrup.
You gonna drink syrup straight up?
I'm gonna put it in water. I'm gonna have syrup water.
It's
Aw.
power. This is.
I'll
We already
see what I
discussed
have in
there's
the bag.
coniferous trees.
Roshan, have tea.
Saga's just fucked up the whole episode. Like, oh shit.
Well, I asked for
Fine
maple
tea.
syrup, and she said syrup.
She goes back and she
Certainly
brings
does.
back syrup with like the consistency of like molasses. All right, this is what I had. I found it in a cupboard, and here's a cup, and here you go. Honestly, I'm just going to charge you like a copper for this, because I'm not exactly sure how this is going to go, and it's your choice, so just a copper. He gives you this kind of, after you used a syrup bottle for a while, how it crusts over. It looks like it has not been used in a while, and I'd like you to roll strength to see if you can actually open it.
Oh.
This is good. Saga looks really pleased, and she takes out the jar of honey that she's been carrying around since she got it back in Gull'Lundr, and hands that back because she finally finished the honey. So now she has syrup.
Now I have my syrup.
And diabetes.
I'm going to add it to water. It's going to be like sweet water. I'm a hummingbird.
Yes. She needs a lot of calories in order to keep up her quick movements and high metabolism.
What was your strength?
Well, it's a 1.
Oh,
Yes.
you guys she's real casual. It's like, I know what I'm doing. I'm going to do this.
Can I help her? Like, just.
And you like sprain your wrist, Saga. Yeah, Gorbjorn, you come over. Gorbjorn, go ahead and roll strength or athletics for me.
12.
Oh, yeah, you are able to. You kind of see that it is a little tight, but you just give it like a little bonk on the counter, and you are able to open it pretty easy. And you hand it back to Saga.
The other hand. Okay.
I have broken my hand.
I'll like leave it like just a twist to open so that she can feel like oh, I did it.
Yeah.
I loosen it for you.
Yeah, and then you make your horrible water concoction. The rest of you have a nice ale, and worrying about keeping your wits about you. This ale is probably, it seems barely alcoholic. Like, it seems pretty watered down anyways, and it's
fine.
kind of sad, especially for the price. But it is something, and you're like, if I worked here and drank like 10 of these, that'd work probably.
Probably. But would you want to come back for 10 of them?
Or works here.
It seems to be the only bar in town. People may have
Only prices in town.
the only prices in town. You all have your drinks. You have your beds ready. Then by beds, I mean it is piles of straw, basically. What would you guys like to do?
Well,
Does anyone want to go take a look at that house?
I am definitely curious, if nothing else.
Podrick, are you coming with us? Toldrick?
This ale tastes like shit.
It does. It does. It's so bad. Do you want to come look at a house? It's got blood everywhere.
Yeah, of course I'll go with you.
All right, let's go.
How could he?
Saga, you don't have to come along if you don't want to. If you'd like to stay here and rest, that is more than fine.
I don't want to be left out. Can I just stand outside the house? I'll stay near it, maybe.
Yeah, you can keep guard for us, just in case the bear comes back. Which
There
it
you
won't
go,
do
you
because
can-
it's already eaten everything inside the house. So that was technically the safest place in town for that little girl that you warned me off of showing how to hide.
Oh, I can get started on that again, Fen, but I don't think you want to get me. I will. I need to do some gathering in the forest too, so it's probably.
I am
a
very
fine
much
trip.
afraid of Saga. Saga intimidates me immensely.
Well, I should
Cinnamon rolls
because I'm very
are the
serious.
thing that I am most afraid of. Am I being
Well-
convincing, Nana?
Not sure what's going
You're
on.
getting there. You're definitely getting there.
You all finish your drinks, or possibly not. But it seems that all of you plan to go to the Mattis house, which you were pointed to by Layla, who was dragged away by her mother, so she's not there to accompany you as she would have liked to. You all make your way through town. You know that there's a few more hours left in the day, so it's not like it's going to be dark any minute now, so you're okay. You head forward. Takes you a solid 15 minutes, 15, 20 minutes tops to walk to the end of town. And when you get there, it stands out like a sore thumb. It is just very starkly wrong. The door hangs barely by a thread as the wind slowly blows it from side to side, the soft squeak of the door moving and shuffling. You can see before you're even inside. All of these places, besides the shop and the inn, they don't have windows. It's just basically shacks. And you can see that the inside looks very dark, but you can see the stains from the outside. And you can also see that some of the ground around the outside of the door also seems to have been disturbed in some sort of way. Yes, Nana.
Before we before we go into this whole exploring the house thing, Nana is going to whisper, just so that we don't make ourselves too terribly obvious, I'd like to try a new spell that I've been working on. And she sort of pulls a couple little bits of burnt leaf from a pouch on her belt and a small sprig of a branch from a tree, and presses them in her hands and As she pulls her hands apart, there's a kind of yellowish green pulse of light that expands to the party. Everybody within a 30 feet range of myself benefits from the Pass Without Trace spell, getting a +10 bonus to dexterity stealth checks, and cannot be tracked except by magical means.
Sure, everybody, give me some stealth checks now that you are very, very stealthy.
We will be...
Oh God.
So you add your
Oh
modifier,
God.
and then you also add +10. I don't even want to know what Ben has. It's a nightmare.
Saga isn't going in the house. She's just going to be like going around in the forest area, gathering and I guess looking for any clues if she sees any.
Okay. What do you guys have on your stealth?
37.
24.
29.
23.
35?
I rolled an 18. I have a +9, and Nana just gave me +10.
And what do you have, Tordrick?
Altogether 20.
Nice.
You guys are a shadow in the daytime.
Did you hear?
What a nightmare. I will never be able to accomplish anything again. I'm sorry.
Or Pink Panther up in
Were you
this.
saying something, Saga?
Oh no, I just got a 35 and that's kind of great.
Yeah,
I'm
these are monstrous rolls.
amazed.
Yeah.
That's what Pass Without Trace does.
That trace is insane. Anywho,
Yes.
all of you very casually just sort of blend in with your surroundings. Nobody seems to look at you, acknowledge you as you make your way to the other side of town, and you make your way into this house unseen. I don't think I could see you if I tried with anything. Who is going into the house? Everybody except Saga?
Roshan would kind of wait at the door.
Okay. Going inside, there is the first thing that hits you is that coppery scent of blood, even though most of it is all dried and stuck into the wood, but it is still prominent. And there's also now the slight scent of mildew that is probably forming between these floorboards. If you are doing any sort of looking about, if you are investigating, or if you are looking for something akin to tracks, I want survival for animal-centric things and investigation for surrounding-based things.
Survival for me.
That's survival for me.
Natural 20.
Oh, fuck.
Wow.
Visible and knows what's going on.
26 to my survival.
21 for survival for me.
23 total, but natural 20.
Yeah. Good stuff.
I just
did
got
anybody else
expertise
roll for
in
glance
stealth
around?
and survival in my level up, so
I rolled a 9. So, yeah.
Everyone, like really just like spreading his look around and following everybody, and just in case someone gets in trouble badly, so that he, needs to heal them or something. So he's not thinking on his own. He's except for watching everyone else.
Yeah, more not worrying about the surroundings, but making sure everyone's okay.
Yeah.
Roshan, did you roll, or are you just chilling at the
He was just chilling. He didn't want to look too close.
He's like, no thanks.
That's fair.
No thanks.
That's fair.
Got a buzz going.
So you start to look around. Basically, everybody who
Don't
started
harsh
looking
Mandela.
inside the house rolled very well. Things you notice. First, you go past the broken-in door, and you can see at the entryway, before you step inside, there are drag marks, which you are able to assess are dragging outwards. Inside the house, you can also see that outside it was able to sort of naturally clean itself, probably from rain, but you can see those drag marks continue inside from where they originated, with kind of the drag of blood across the floor, as if something bloody was grabbed and pulled across the floor by something. There is blood near everywhere, soaked into almost every crevice. This is a horrible scene, but made slightly less horrific by the fact that everything is dried. You all start to make your way around. I am going to say everybody rolled so well. Did any of the people who rolled well roll investigation, or is it all survival?
I think it was all survival.
No.
I mean, if you want, I could be a
if you
19.
want it to have been. No, it's all survival. I'll go more animal based, but that nat 20 does. I'm going to give you some leniency into some of the investigation based things.
That seems fair.
Thank you.
Thank you, most benevolent DM.
I'm going to say that Fen, Nana, and Gorbjorn, you could definitely tell if you were going to start looking what direction you'd go in vaguely. It's been some time, but you can literally see a partially dragged path, and you have a trajectory of where you would start looking if you were hunting this bear.
Okay.
You look around at the claw marks on everything, and they are akin to that of a bear. They are very strange, though. There is something just unnatural about the shape and the size. It is like the shape of a bear claw, but the claw seems thinner. Like, it does not seem as thick as you would assume it would be for the size of this claw you are looking at.
Are there any other animals that we might recognize that type of claw?
I mean, you all rolled very well, and I'm going to go ahead and say no. You cannot pinpoint this exactly. You have not seen a claw mark that looks exactly like this to you. You all just are observing this. And Gorbjorn, you see two things, or kind of notice things that a couple of the others didn't, because you're just very aware and very smart.
You're just
Always.
plugged into your
Always.
environment in a way that we just
I
can't
am certainly
appreciate.
the smartest one in the party. Gorbjorn is like, yeah, 100%. Gorbjorn, the first thing you notice is you're like, yeah, this all adds up for animal shit. This all makes sense in my brain. And you make your way looking around, and you see something akin to like a dresser, a very small dresser. And you see that it is open, but it does not look like it was affected by the claws. Like, it does not look like it was involved with the struggle itself. It looks like maybe they left it open prior, somebody opened it later, but it is casually open, and you can see there are still things inside. And another thing you see, Gorbjorn, is you're looking at the drag marks on the ground where the blood is. And after just thinking for a moment, the amount of blood, you do not think these drag marks happened at the time of death. You think these were done post-mortem.
With that, I would want to go back to the claw marks on the wall. Does it look like some of the nails kind of like don't match up for like a straight claw mark kind of thing? Like as if it was like somebody had repeatedly done it or something like that?
I will say, ooh, interesting.
Ooh.
I am going to say yes and no. Some of these marks look very consistent. Some of them not so much.
How do I tell you people? That's the problem.
Or you're just like squinting like, okay.
These look weird.
That ain't right. I don't know that, but shit.
Yeah, Gorbjorn, that's what you know. Gorbjorn's like, I'm a genius, but how do I tell these idiots?
I can't put all of my genius into words. It's too big.
Gorbjorn, what would you like to do? You can see Fed and Nana examining things and being like, yeah, it looks like it probably went that way in that direction. And I've never seen these claw marks before. That seems to be the basis of what you can pick up that they are understanding.
I would definitely be able to communicate that the bodies were taken away after, so like not at the moment of death, but like it's coagulated blood being dragged rather than fresh blood.
I would say a word that stands out to you. I think this is what the word that Gorbjorn would think is a good descriptor, is scavenger.
Huh.
That makes a lot of sense, yeah.
Interesting.
Based on, because it's a survival check and animals, if you had to put it in an animal category, scavenger. Which you
So it
don't
seems.
bear as very often.
Yeah, so I'd be like,
Yeah.
I don't know if bear like fresh.
How do you mean?
Well, I'll like scoop my finger into some of the blood. It's sticky like dead. So this isn't from fresh kill. It
So
was,
they were dead before the bear got here.
Or
bear took a nap in bed and then
Bear Goldilocks the situation.
yeah,
This
reverse
bed does
Goldilocks.
Just right.
These dead bodies just right, yeah.
I suppose that, or perhaps the bear was only involved minimally, if there was one at all.
Well, bears smell very well, and they'll eat anything. They're not particular. They'd rather not hunt if given the opportunity. Did a bear come here and take away bodies that were killed by something else?
Gorbjorn's sweating.
Well, we do have what seems to be a heading.
Well,
I say this is more than bear, but we should follow the track. With full group, as everybody's here though, right? Sorry.
Yeah, everyone's present.
Well, we've got
no, never mind then, yeah.
Saga's in the woods, Ro is outside, but Tordrecht is with the three of us in the house.
Yeah, just emphasizing never split the party.
Right.
well,
Naturally.
Follow it.
Naturally. Well, I think there's definitely something strange going on here. Something that doesn't seem obvious on the surface, and I think it would be worth finding out, if only for the sake of these poor people.
Well, the track grows cold the longer we wait.
Well then, what are we waiting for? What time is it exactly at this point? Have we gone through to evening, or?
You're leaning closer to evening. I would say you're hitting about that I'd say like a 4:30 sort of vibe. That you have some sun left, you have time, but it is not an incredible amount of time. So it's up to you what you guys want to do. As you kind of step out of the house, kind of trying to get your plan together, I'd love some perception checks by the whole gaggle.
The holes of us.
14.
Oh, what? Sorry.
Perception check. Hey.
21.
22.
19.
I'm rolling super hot today.
Yeah, Gorbjorn's going in hot today.
I got
It's like
8.
16 or above.
Oh no.
Everybody who rolled 16 or higher, you can see hiding pretty effectively in the shadows behind like a tree is Layla, who has been slowly making her way towards the house, and she sees all of you came outside and just full stopped, but it's enough where she's at the wrong angle of tree, where she's in shadow, but is also creating shadow. So there is the shadow of a little girl next to the shadow of a tree.
Adorable. Oh no.
Lesson 2.
Yeah. But she hid from Fen, so she nailed it.
There we go.
She is not saying anything. She thinks she's nailed it.
I'm just gonna do the like I see you kind of thing, but not say anything. I don't know what everybody else will
She
do.
kind of like peeks out a little bit.
Nana gives a little wave.
She comes over. Is it really cool? As she kind of like jumps out from behind the tree. How cool is it?
Oh God!
Oh, very scary. It's smelly, honestly.
Oh,
It's
gross.
quite
I want to
smelly.
smell it.
Ugh.
No,
Mm.
Ooh,
no.
ooh, is there like big bear paws, and yeah, you could see where its teeth, and it ripped up a pillow, and then there's feathers everywhere. And she starts making her way towards the house.
Layla,
She's
Layla.
got a very
Wait,
active
wait, wait,
imagination.
wait. What do you know about the people who lived here?
Um, not a lot. The dad and the mom worked on the trees, and their son was a little shithead. And he was mean to me.
Oh,
Oh, that's rude.
how old was the little shithead?
Oh,
Hey,
he was probably just a couple years older than me.
He was
Hey.
like he was a human.
Yeah, they were human people. Oh, they're not human people.
Oh, I'm not a human.
I'll
person.
like lift up my to like just reveals the chin.
I'm not a human, and I'm not a human. She's like,
And then there's Tordrick over here,
All right, the short
also
one.
not a human.
this is the coolest day of my life.
Oh my God,
so
we've expanded her horizon so much.
I'm just gonna take a peek inside so I can brag about it. And
No,
she starts
no,
to
no,
try and make
no.
her way forward. And
I'll go with her to temper her experience then. If you're so offended that she might see some blood. Nana and I gutted rabbits when we were her age.
I want to
Raw
gut a
blood.
rabbit.
This is good learning
Boy.
experience for her.
Oh,
I gotta catch a rabbit.
No.
She'll be the greatest forensic science.
Then go help her
You guys
then.
are either making like a
alright.
genius or like a sociopath. It's one of these.
I can't tell
It's
which.
borderline the same thing.
Yeah,
Well,
she's
go
you
help her
ride the
then.
line. It's
I am
fine.
not going to
so
go in
broken.
there. There's no reason to go in there, and it's disgusting and gross and sad. And if she wants to do something with a rabbit, then she can. If her mom says it's okay, her mom told her not to go in there, so she should respect what her mother said.
What I hear is a bunch of special pleading and value judgments placed upon something that is none of your business, honestly.
Yeah, it's none of your business, honestly.
Excuse me, it's none of yours either, Fen. That's very rude of you. Her mother told her not to go into that house, so you shouldn't be encouraging her to do exactly what her mother told her not to do.
I did lots of
excuse
things
me,
my mother told me not to do, and
You guys
Nana
approaching his boss.
continues to do things her mother tells her not to do.
You all watch as Bosch approaches the group. Is
Hi.
everything okay over here? I was doing some rounds and I saw all of you and Layla.
We were just talking with Layla. She's been very interested in the occurrence that happened with this household, and we were just speaking with her about it. We were just about to send her on her way back to her mother so that she does not get in any trouble.
Hmm.
And just Layla just from kind of excited to scowl.
I mean, and
Bosch-
Nana, like, kind of like away from Bosch's point of view, like, kind of turns her head profile so that one side of her face is facing Layla, and with that eye, she'll give her just the very smallest wink.
It looks like she's trying to figure out what you're implying. She's like, am I gonna get to see this house or not? Bosch approaches the group and he's like, yeah, Layla, listen, your mom had to physically come and ask all of us not to let you do this. I am going to escort Layla home. And
Please
Layla
do.
just,
Thank you.
just
I know.
devastated instantly.
She tries to be
Wait a second,
dead
how
weight
did
as
Bosch
he
even
carries
see
her.
us? We all have Pass Without Trace, and Layla was hiding.
Well,
too.
we're standing in the middle of the street. We're
And
not
arguing.
hiding right now.
You get
We're
like
not
occasionally you
stealthing.
guys are like a little like shimmery at the edges, but currently not like hiding because you're having a full conversation in front of a house with a kid.
Yeah.
And Layla just looks so upset. She's like, Bosch, no. And Bosch comes over and he's like, listen, I'm going to take you back. It's starting to get late. Your mom's going to worry, and then your mom's going to try and find everybody and try to figure out where you are, and then it's going to be a whole hullabaloo, and you don't want that. And I saw a dead rabbit on the way here, and if you want to make a slight detour, we can burn it and then go home. And you see Layla kind of weighing her options.
It's not a bad deal.
We'll make a woman of you yet.
I do
The
want to be
She's
a
still young.
Not like that, you pervert.
Sorry.
Well, thank you guys for stopping her from going in. Did you find anything interesting?
Nothing that we've found so far. We've only been sort of looking around the exterior.
All right.
We'll see if there's anything, I suppose, but we're probably going to head back to the inn before too long.
All right. Yeah, if any of the other rangers find you out late, they will probably ask that you return back to your room. I'll take Layla. You guys do whatever you need to. I'd be worried about hunting something in its own territory at night, but honestly, whatever floats y'all's boat. Come on, Layla, let's go burn a rabbit. And she's like, I'm gonna burn a rabbit.
Oh my god.
He holds her hand and they start walking the opposite way. What are you guys gonna do? just I'm gonna burn a rabbit.
Well, we got a direction to follow for this bear taking off a carcass and some.
Yeah, we do want to catch Saga and Roshan back up on what we discovered and bring them up to speed on what we kind of think of this situation. Gorbjorn noticed that some of the claw marks inside the house did not seem right, and the way that the
drawer,
the place was left, and the quality of the drag marks behind the bodies especially also seemed not to add up for the way that a bear would normally behave.
Gorbjorn, I want to give you a little more detail because I realized I didn't with the drawer.
Oh yeah.
The drawer kind of looks gone through in a way. It does not look like it was just open. It looks gone through.
Ooh.
But that's all you can see from just looking at it, just appearance-wise.
bear paw too big, go through drawer, but drawer gone through.
I mean, it could have been someone using the excuse of a bear attack to commit some burglary or something.
Or someone got a pet bear.
Well,
Be a
that
case of a
would be very outside the norm, but
I should just shut my mouth at this point.
Pet bear, pet. Would you guys like to fully leave the house, or did you want to? I'm just making sure before I start narrating things. Did you guys want to check the drawer, or are you guys going to start heading in a direction?
I
Roshan wants to go back in just because the things don't add up, and he would sing to himself one of his little tunes and cast Detect Magic, and then just give everything a once-over to see if there's any faint auras, anything I can investigate out of that.
You cast Detect Magic. The first thing that stands out is usually when you do this, you get a glance of all your friends. And you look over, and there are 6 people watching you. A shimmer of one of them, and then it kind of steps out of range, realizing that it was the shadow present. Nothing in the house seems to glow with detect magic. You can see the faintest of auras around some of these like claw marks, but they are incredibly faint.
And I'll go give special attention to the drawer to see if
Yeah, I wanted to look
What
in
was
as
there?
well.
Yeah.
Mostly just because I want to see if there's gold.
Yeah, Gorbjorn comes in as you start to go through the drawer, keeping an eye. He's just like, if I see a single piece of gold, I swear to God,
I'll take a copper. What?
I earned it. Roshan, you kind of go through the drawer, and it looks like it was just the clothing of the family. There's not a lot that seems strange in here. But then you see it looks like damage to one of the outfits, and you grab it, and you can see that it's a pretty simple woman's dress, and you hold it up, and you can see cut out of the bottom is a perfect square. A perfect square was cut out of this dress. And that's where we're gonna stop for tonight, boys.
Esoteric stuff.
Hey, what's up? Thank you
So
all so much.
Saga did it.
Saga. I needed the fabric.
Saga.
If people gotta die for me to get fabric, they gotta die. It's just what it is.
The dress has to look a certain way.
You know, Lady Seder told me that
That you had to die so I could make my perfect outfit.
I'm sorry, that's just what the lady said.
Good direction.
Saying yes to the dress took a whole new meaning.
Thank all of you so much for watching today. We really appreciate all of you being here. If you are interested in seeing Saga's new outfit and character art and maps of everybody in the show, we have our art on Instagram at Backs of Gods. We also have some art and updates on our Twitter at Backs of Gods. If you're curious and want to follow us, we'd really appreciate that. We have some other shows that happen on the Dice Cult. We're a big family of shows. Frank, can you tell me what's happening tomorrow on Tuesday?
We're going to be playing Legends of Thea 5th edition homebrew, and the heroes are going to go do a trade-off with one of the ancient guardians of this area underground that they don't have any clue what they're getting themselves into, but they're going to help some mushroom people.
That's my favorite, is when they just don't know what they're getting into, and that's
What could possibly go wrong?
Abby, could you tell me what's happening on Wednesday?
Well, on Wednesday is Rolling, where we are halfway through travel to this mysterious place for our treasure hunt. So that's fun. 7:30 Central.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Also, if you are interested, we're working around with some shows, and we're trying to figure out some times and what's best for everybody, and if we want to do a bunch of one-shots, if we want to keep being spooky. But this Saturday, we are going to have Vampire the Masquerade, and I know some of you will be devastated, but the story of Baby and her companions has come to an end, and all I can say is that it seems it ended well, and they have a store or a bar or whatever, and nothing bad ever happened again, and they all lived happily ever after. She makes it to 100, and they all have a good time. That's all I can say. But that means that leaves room for a different type of vampire story. If you're interested in seeing something spooky this weekend, Saturday, we are going to have Vampire the Masquerade with a new story, episode 1. And I've heard it's going to be a bit intense, and I'm already nervous.
As you should be.
I am incredibly nervous already. Throughout some Saturdays, we may be bringing Call of Cthulhu back. We'll see what's going on. We're trying to figure out our lives. We've got so many shows for you guys. But there may be some one-shots. Who knows? There's plenty of things in the works, and we really appreciate you guys being here and watching all of our stuff. We are here every Monday, same time, same place at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thank you again for being here, and we really appreciate telling this story with all of you. Good night, everybody.
Thanks for joining us all. We'll see you next week.